explaining why Demon Souls is the worst Souls game in a minute or less. And yes, of course, I understand this was their first Souls game, and of course, they're allowed to make mistakes, but we're allowed to criticize these mistakes, especially compared to the newer Souls games. The topic of what's the worst Souls game is a very hot one in this community always, so I want to give my 2 cents of why I think Demon Souls is the worst. So let's start with lore, and the one word I would use to describe the lore of Demon Souls is undercooked. The lore has a great concept, one of the most interesting From Software has ever made, but it's just underdeveloped. Some locations don't have good history behind them, some bosses don't have a good description behind them, and it really brings down the overall narrative. Now with the areas and bosses, Demon Souls areas are very tedious and annoying to get through. There's almost no checkpoint in between areas, and the areas are all very difficult and jam-packed with enemies. And the bosses of Demon Souls are all extremely simple. And Souls is always known for its bosses, so I think the weak cast of bosses really brings down the overall experience of the game combined with the bad areas.